Hello students, we are studying first biology chapter, that is reproduction in lower and higher plants. So there are the two types of reproduction, asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction I already completed in the earlier lecture. So today I am going to start with the sexual reproduction. So sexual reproduction involves the fusion of two compatible gametes or sexes. What is it? Two compatible gametes? Fusion of male gamete and female gamete. This sexual reproduction we are studying in plant. So in the plant, at the end of a juvenile or vegetative phase marks the beginning of reproductive phase, and that we can clearly observe in the higher plant at the time of flowering. So there is at the end of a juvenile or vegetative phase, it means when the plant comes at the maturity stage, means shows the sufficient growth of root, stem and leaves. It starts to develop a reproductive system. So this reproductive system, that is a flower, is most important part of the plant which possesses the reproductive system. So flower is a specialized reproductive structure of the plant in which sexual reproduction takes place. So main function of the flower is to produce the gametes, haploid gametes, and to ensure what is that fertilization will take place. So this main function of the flower, what is that? Production of haploid gametes and fertilization. So this is the main function of the flower. Now typical flower possesses the four different whorls: calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. Calyx, corolla are the accessory whorls, androecium, gynoecium are the essential whorls. So let us see in the picture. This is the typical flower. We can also say that it is a hibiscus. So green cap-like structure is a calyx. Colorful part of the flower is a corolla, and this yellow color bunch is a androecium. At the top we can observe the gynoecium. So these two, calyx and corolla, are the accessory, and androecium, gynoecium are the essential. Androecium is also called as a male reproductive whorl, and the gynoecium is a female whorl. So these two whorls are the essential. If anyone is absent, then that flower becomes the unisexual. So this is the typical flower. Now sexual reproduction involves the two main events: meiosis and the fusion of gametes to produce the diploid zygote, and due to this production of the genetically dissimilar offsprings we can observe. So this genetically dissimilar offsprings, it means the offsprings differs from their parent. So this kind of a variation we observe between the parent and the offspring and their offspring. So variation is very important from the point of view of the survival as well as the evolution of the species. So this variation is very important. Now this takes place over the time. Now there is a sexual reproduction is characterized by the fusion of gametes to form the zygote and then embryogenesis. So these are the steps we observe in the sexual reproduction. What is that? There is a fusion of gametes, then fertilization takes place, in that produces the zygote, okay, diploid zygote, and then embryogenesis. In the embryogenesis produces the embryo and in the seed. So seed is the ultimate product of the sexual reproduction. So this is the important events we observe during the sexual reproduction. So these are all the sequential events occurs in a group, in a 3 stages. Okay. Now what is that? Fertilization, pre-fertilization, fertilization and post-fertilization. So what are these 3 steps? Fertilization, pre-fertilization, fertilization and post-fertilization. So this is the introduction about the sexual reproduction. So what kind of a question will ask on this topic, like what is reproduction? Same is like what is asexual and sexual reproduction. Maybe what is the difference between the sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction? What are the ways of the or types of the asexual reproduction? Budding, fragmentation, spore formation. What is vegetative reproduction? Cutting, grafting and tissue culture. So these are the questions can ask on the topics, on these topics. Now there is a next one, that is a male reproductive wall of the flower. As I told you that male reproductive wall, what is that? Androecium. So this androecium is a male reproductive wall, and each member of the androecium is called as a stamens. And the stamens consist of what? Filament, connective and anther. See, this is the diagram of stamen. This is the filament, anther lobes 1 and 2, and this is the connectives. Okay, so this is the structure of stamen. If you cut the anther, then you can easily observe the pollen sac. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 pollen sacs. So this is the diagram of structure of stamen. Now this is the mature structure of stamen. But what structure we observe in the immature stamen or immature anther? Now this immature anther, in the immature stage of the anther, is represented by the group of parenchymatous tissue which are covered by the epidermis layer. So immature anther possesses what? Group of parenchymatous tissue. Okay, and that will be gets covered by the epidermis layer. Now anther mostly dithecous and tetrasporogiate. Dithecous and tetrasporogiate. Dithecous, it means having the two lobes. See, 1 and 2. These two lobes we can observe here. So dithecous and tetrasporogiate. So this pollen sac is called as a sporogiate. These are the sporogenous tissue. Here is the presence of sporogenous tissue. And how many tissues? How many these are? 1, 2, 3, 4. Mono, di, tri, tetra. So that's why tetrasporogiate. So anther is what? Dithecous and tetrasporogiate. So if it is a single lobe, then it is a monothecous. So monothecous possesses the 2 pollen sac. Okay. Now dithecous possesses the 4 pollen sac, as I earlier showed in the diagram. Okay. Now therefore it is a tetrasporogiate. Okay. When now come to the immature anther. So this is all about the mature anther. Now immature anther, as I told you that there is a presence of group of parenchymatous tissue. Now there is a below the epidermal layer. This epidermal layer, where it is present, it covers the parenchymatous tissue, and below the epidermal layer there is presence of the hypodermal layer. Hypodermal layer undergoes the heterogeneity. It means the differentiation, and this hypodermal layer transform into the archisporial cell. So these are the hypodermal cells gets transformed into the archisporial cells. So this is the diagram of TS of anther. Okay. Now this is the diagram of TS of anther, and this is the directions of the anther. Now there is a TS of anther. What is that? This archisporial cell, where how it gets formed? It formed by the transformation of hypodermal cell. Okay. Now the archisporial cell possesses the 2 types of cell. What is that? One is a sporogenous cell and the other one is a primary parietal cell. Now sporogenous cell, these present in inner side and the primary parietal present on the outer side. Now this each cell of the sporogenous tissue has the capacity to produce the microspore tetrad. Now there is a sporogenous tissue consists of many cells, and each cell of these produces what? Microspores. That microspores appears in a tetrad condition. We will see how it forms a tetrad. Now there is a presence of parietal cell, that is outermost. That parietal cell gets divided into the 4 layer. So parietal cells divide into the 4 layer. For outer one is a epidermis, below there epithelium, then middle layer, and the 4th one, that is a tapetum. Now we can see in the diagram. So this one is a outermost layer, epidermis. This epidermis is the outermost layer of the anther, which is made up of the tubular cells. Okay, so these are the tubular cells, which is a protective layer of the anther. Now there is a inner to the anther presence of the endothecium layer. So this is the endothecium layer which lies inner to the epidermis. Now this layer is made up of the elongated cells. So these are the elongated cells with a fibrous thickening. Now inner to that presence of the middle layer. Now this is the first, second and third layer. What is that? Middle layer. That middle layer lies to the endothecium. Now this middle layer 1 to 2 and it encloses the tapetum. It surrounds the tapetum. So which may disintegrate in the mature anther. So this is not get integrate. Okay. So if this will be appear only 1 and 2 layers. Now there is a next 4th, that is a tapetum. This tapetum, this is the tapetum layer. This tapetum layer is a nutritive one and encloses the sporogenous tissue. So here is a presence of sporogenous tissue, and this one is a tapetum which covers that. So this is a nutritive layer. Okay, so this we can clearly observe in the diagram. Now there is a microsporogenesis. Microsporogenesis, where we heard this word, there is a sporogenous tissue. The sporogenous tissue possesses the many cells. That sporogenous cells undergoes the division. So that sporogenous cells is called as a microspore mother cell, and that microspore mother cell gets divided meiotically and produces the 4, or we can say that the form the tetrad of the haploid microspore, which is also called as a pollen grain. So tetrad means 4. So we know that the meiosis, this stage we already studied in the 11, mitosis and meiosis. Meiosis end product is what? 4 haploid daughter cell. So here is a one mother cell, one microspore mother cell undergoes the meiotically and form the 4. It means tetrad of haploid microspores, and this microspore, each one is called as a pollen grain. So this is the microsporogenesis. Now there is a next one, structure of microspore. It means the structure of pollen grains. So microspore's structure. Microspore is a non-motile haploid and it is a unicellular with a single nucleus. So it is a unicellular with a single nucleus and haploid in nature. Now microspores cover, there is a presence of the wall which is a double layer wall. Okay, that double layer wall is called as a, what is that? Sporoderm. And that sporoderm, outer and inner layer, presence of outer and inner layer. Outer layer is called as a exine and inner layer is called as a intine. So exine, this exine, sometimes it is a smooth one, sometimes it is a sculpture one. Sculpture, we can also say that the spinous. Smooth layer of exine we observe in the monocotyledon plants pollen grain, and the sculpture of the spinous we can observe in the dicotyledon plants of their pollen grains. Now there is a exant. Exant is a protective layer, outermost protective layer, and it is made up of the non-biodegradable material, which is also called as a sporopollenin. Now this sporopollenin is present in the exant. Now this sporopollenin, it is a non-biodegradable, so it cannot be easily gets break by the chemicals, so it resists the infection of chemicals. So these kind of ways microspores, exants we observe. Now there is a intine. Okay, one more thing is that this exant somewhere gets thin. Okay, this exant is not a continuous. At some places it becomes thin, and that place is called as a germ pore, and this germ pore is appear for the emerging of the pollen tube. So it shows the growth of emerge of the pollen tube. So this is all about the exant. Now intine. So intine, it is below to the exant. It is the innermost layer of the pollen grain or the microspore, and it is made up of the cellulose and pectin. This is all about the structure of, what is that? Structure of microspore or pollen grain. Now there is a development of male gametophyte. So these pollen grains is responsible, or its main function is formation of or development of male gametophyte. It means there is a develop the male gamete. So how it gets develop the male gamete in the pollen grain? So these pollen grains, to develop the male gamete or male gametophyte, it undergoes a two mitotic division. Okay. Now first mitotic division, in that these microspores starts to divide. There is a presence of a single nucleus, and nucleus starts to divide and produces the two cells. That cells, one cell is called as a vegetative and the other one is called as a generative cell. So vegetative cell is a bigger, comparatively bigger than the generative cell, and it is a nutritive one. Okay, so this we can observe in the diagram. So this is the vegetative, this is the pollen grain, single nucleus, starts to divide mitotically, and we know that in the mitosis, nucleus divides into the two daughter nuclei. So likewise, two daughter nuclei shows the two cells. Vegetative is a bigger one, and another one that is a smaller, which is called as a generative cell. So this vegetative cell is a nutritive one. This generative cells gets detached from the intine and float in the vegetative cell. So vegetative cells cytoplasm. In the vegetative cell cytoplasm, we can observe the floating of generative cell. So likewise, first mitotic division gets completed in there. Now in the second mitotic division, this generative cell starts to divide and form the two male gametes. Okay, so these two male gametes we observe due to the mitotically gets divided. Okay, now here is a two condition we can observe. Generative cells gets divided into the two male gametes inside the pollen grain, or generative cells gets divided in the pollen tube. So here is a germ pore. Through the germ pore, cytoplasmic material enter. So this nucleus, tube nucleus, gives the direction to the cytoplasm, comes out through the germ pore, and here is a generative cells gets entered through the cytoplasmic material, and here gets divided mitotically and form the two male gametes. So these kind of a ways, second mitotic division finish and forms the male gamete. So this is the development of the male gametophyte. So everybody understood what is that? So this one is a male gametophyte. So here I completed the male reproductive world. In the next lecture I will finish second, the essential, what is that? Female reproductive world, that is nothing but the, what is that? Gynoecium. So this here I end here. Thank you.